up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if your name is Miguel, your little secret love child. Well, actually, it's not secret anymore because you're the one that put it on blast. However, I went behind there and got some tea on what's going on with his baby's mom, Margaret Zhang, and how his ex-wife must feel. If you guys don't know, Miguel got divorced. Well, his ex-wife filed for divorce. Well, she filed for divorce first in October 2021. Then they got back together. And then she filed again in October 2022. So the actual divorce happened sometime in early 2023 because I think they give you like a 6-month or a 3-month cooling off period. When that happened, she pretty much left with everything the prenup said because they had an ironclad prenup. Now, around that time, it had been pretty much an open secret that Miguel, like he said in an interview with Ebro back then, he was wild at heart. And his ex-wife actually knew it, okay? Now, let's get into this because you got to follow this. Here's the tea. The woman he has a baby with now, 5 months ago, 9 months ago, it was all over Reddit that was one of his sneaky links, and they had been seeing each other since 2020. And she was basically a side chick that got upgraded. On top of that, they're trying to say that Naz, his ex-wife, actually wanted children. Let's not forget he wasted her time and was with her for over 20 years. They've been together since they were 18, 19 years old. They were together for like over a decade till he finally got engaged. Then they got married, only to get divorced about 4 years later because he refused to change his ways. And it looks like Margaret Zhang, who, by the way, was the youngest editor-in-chief of Vogue China ever, Margaret Zhang actually was dating him, and she just left Vogue China in 2024. And a lot of people are saying because the stress of her being with child of that man made it impossible for her to focus on her job. Now, here's what I want to know. You're the youngest ever editor-in-chief of Vogue China, and baby, ain't no money like that China money. And you give it up to become Miguel's baby's mom, which, by the way, I do not believe they are married. And as another thing saying, well, that's what Naz gets. She wouldn't give him a child. They are saying that she never gave him a baby because she knew he was all over the place. And she had enough forethought to be like, I don't want to be a single mom or changing Pampers while you are still doing what you're doing. And he refused to stop messing with any of his side Jones. And they are saying that Margaret was on the roster in some way. This is what Reddit is saying, okay? I don't know what they were actually doing in their house, but Margaret was on the roster since 2020, and she was one of the reasons why Naz walked away because he couldn't quit her. Now, he posted an Instagram clip of him playing with the baby and, holding up a one and him smiling, and the baby's face is blurred out. I'm sure the baby, Margaret Zhang, is cute. Miguel, attractive. I'm sure the baby is very, very cute. However, the one thing I want to say to all the pick-me's being like, that's what she gets, you got to give her, you can't do that, And that's the thing with men and all the men. He found a high-value woman and could just have kids anytime he wanted. See, he on that, ladies, that's why you need to make sure that once you over 40, you dried up and you can't have kids. I heard all of the comments, to which I want to say, shut your dumb asses up. Because for all the pick-me's being like, she should have gave him a child. For all the men being like, see, he just replaced her with someone younger. Okay, he did. And good for him. But we all know, if you can always find a dummy. Women, you know it too. You can always find a dummy to put up with your stuff. And someone that, for whatever reason, doesn't see the same thing in you as someone that's been with you since 18 and 19. See, here's the thing. Naz saw, I'm assuming, the best of him. She married, but she also saw the worst. She saw the real him before the fame. Because I think when they started, he was still kind of blowing up a little bit, like, treat you like a lover, respect you like a friend. Oh yeah, you can bet that, never gonna sweat that, you can bet. Okay, right? Y'all remember, he was on the blow up, but he hadn't reached the heights that when everybody knows who Miguel is. I would assume you do if you're watching this video, okay? So it was on the J curve, right? She caught him on the beginning of the J curve and then rose to the top, and then, how does he make his money? I want to know. This his new girl, Margaret. I mean, she was the youngest editor-in-chief of Vogue China. To me, it sounds like some Chinese legacy money. And you know, baby, they got money, right? I wonder if she's the one, but hear me out. So anyway, so she knows that mofo. This girl's only been messing with him since 2020. It is 2025. Whatever you know about him, you don't know him the way Naz knows him. You know what I'm saying? And I think habits can change, but I don't think characters change. I think when somebody is a chronic cheater, as it's been rumored he might be, it's musical chairs. And you might move up to 1, but there's always a 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you listen to Miguel's and all these rumors going around, a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But for all the pick-me's and the bros, ooh, that's why women age out, blah, blah. Okay, but what did Margaret get? I mean, great. She got a cute little girl, but they live in Australia, I believe, or somewhere down under. He lives in LA and is frequently seen around LA. So how does that work out? You raising a kid and the father lives on a different continent and comes in to take cute birthday photos. Now, I'm not saying he don't love his kid, but I'm just saying, did she really get a better deal? Did she get a better deal? Did she? Because you have a child with someone, and I hope they were on some homie lovers friend stuff and she just wanted a cute kid and she was like, you single, I'm single. You seem like you'll be a good dad, let's do it. But if she did it with any type of romantic interest, you have tied yourself to a man that wasted a woman's time for 20 years, who I assume if he was with her for 20 years, he loved her as much as he was capable of loving her. And he still wasted her time, still dogged her out, still had her crying to the gods to please let me stop loving you. So what is he going to do to you? And he only known you for 5 years. I do not believe he lives in the same hemisphere as the baby. And I wish them luck, but I don't see a ring on her finger. I don't see any type of commitment. I don't see anything. And this is not to take away from whatever their relationship is, because if she likes it, baby, I love it, right? Different strokes for different folks. Some people, you know. But for people online to be acting like Naz fumbles a bag and that's what you get, and a man can always upgrade and always start over. Yeah, maybe. But the issue is the woman that takes him. You are getting the same man. And you can give him that child, or the pygmies are like, she should have gave him a child. She said she ain't want children, dummy. If you're in a loving, I mean, maybe she doesn't want children at all, but she has done interviews when she was like, no, I love kids. And if I was going to get pregnant, of course we would be happy. But right now we are actively not trying. What does that say to me? She knew that mofo wasn't stable, and she saw things in him that she was like, I do not think that you will be the best choice of the father. Now, again, this girl, Margaret, she could be like, it's good enough for me. Like, I'm fine with this arrangement, and that's great. But ladies, always remember that you can give a man everything society says you can and all these things, but just be comfortable and make sure that you realize that you are getting the same exact man. All right? Naz spent 20 years with this man, and a lot of it was tears, and he embarrassed her and humiliated her a lot. So much so that she literally filed for divorce from her soulmate. And I truly believe that if she had not filed for divorce, he would still be with her. Put that out there. He would still be lifted. She left her space and crawled through glass and broken hearts so Margaret could run. Again, I do not think Miguel's changed. I don't think when you have that type of dog in you, you ever, like, he got that dog in him. I don't think people like that ever really change. However, I hope, and ladies and gentlemen, always make sure that you're 100% happy with who the person is and you can deal with it, because odds are you're not going to get anything better. So I hope whatever the situation is, she is 100% content and fine with it. And of course, I wish their blossoming family luck. I wish their blossoming family luck. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.